Hello, YouTube. Rob here. I'm here along with
Chris.
Thank you. So we are here for the first episode of what I'm calling Blind Faith. Chris had an idea, so I guess I'll let him explain that, and then I'll get into what we're doing.
I was just saying, I'm sure a lot of you guys watching YouTube seen various blind shootouts or blind. I watch a lot of guitar videos and stuff where they test different guitar gear and they'll blindfold someone, or they don't know, are you playing the pedal or the real amplifier? Are you playing an expensive guitar or a cheaper guitar? So we decided to take 4 different VaPers this time. We're gonna try some different ways of doing this, and we have them all in these bags, which they're flakes rubbed out, 4 different VaPer flakes, and there's a paper that says which one is which. But Rob's mom helped us out and put some of these, put these in, in the bags for him, and then wrote down which was which. So we haven't seen that yet, and we're just gonna smoke them. And I guess is the idea that you're gonna tell us what the 4 are. Like, what we have to know what the 4, you know what the 4 are. So
I know what the 4 are. Yeah.
So and I don't know if we're
not going to know which is which until the end.
Which is which until the end, and I guess we're just gonna smoke them, talk about our thoughts, maybe make a guess on what we think each one is.
That's how I was figuring it would go.
Well, and we're gonna smoke about probably quarter bowls each.
Yeah. And as you know, we're smoking. I'm gonna fast forward through, a lot of the smoking, go back to regular speed. Yeah. So it's not just going to be 4 back-to-back bowls of a video. But all right, let's get packing.
All right, so we're starting with A. And this time we're deciding to do both the same blend at the same time. We may do it in the future where we don't. We're going to try some different ways of doing this.
Yeah, we're going to find the right format. We have a lot of tobacco options on hand. I think that's probably about half.
Yeah, these look to be about slightly more than a quarter of a bowl, right? All right.
Just about, yeah.
End of the day, it doesn't matter if it's perfect.
So the 4 that we have are Bayou Morning Flake by Cornell and Diehl. We have Evening Flake by Erik Stokkebye, 4th generation.
Okay.
We have Luxury Navy Flake by Peter Stokkebye.
Okay.
And we have Janneman Flake by HU Tobacco.
Now, me personally, I've only had the Luxury Navy Flake and the Bayou Morning.
I've had the Luxury Navy Flake and the Evening Flake.
Okay. We're both coming fresh off of smoking a bowl of a deer tongue blend.
Yeah. So. Maybe not the most perfect palates for this one.
Tastes like a VaPer.
Yep, definite VaPer off the bat.
So, do we have any descriptions of these that maybe...
I don't know. Do we want descriptions?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you know? And I'll share what I know. How about that?
About what's in the blends?
Yeah. Or... I know that Bayou Morning Flake is, I think it's 25% Perique.
Yeah.
And then like Brighton, Red Virginias.
I don't know the ratios of the Evening Flake or the Navy Flake or the Janneman Flake, to be honest with that. I know that they look different in their assembly. The Luxury Navy Flake and the Evening Flake look similar. They look like traditional square flakes. The Bayou Morning Flake is a broken flake.
The way a lot of the Cornell and Diehl flakes come.
And then the Janneman Flake was really very moist, and together it was much darker. Rubbed out, they look much the same. So fortunately, can't really tell visually what might be what.
If I had to guess, this is not one that I've smoked before.
Okay.
Which limits it to
the Evening Flake or the Janneman Flake.
What was the deal? You said the Janneman was more moist and darker.
Like darker, and very flexible, much longer flakes in the tin.
This has a note. And again, I guess I'd imagine a lot of these notes are whatever slight little tiny little bit of casing or how they process the tobacco. Besides the tobaccos being different, in the preparation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain note that I don't get. I'm hoping it's not just remnants of deer tongue mingling with smoking, but...
Right. Fortunately, we have different pipes than we use for that.
Based on the descriptions, I would guess this might be the Janneman Flake.
I'm getting a spiciness that's I don't remember from the ones that I've had before.
I'm getting like a rum.
Okay. Like a rum kind of molasses sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Definitely spicy, definitely Perique for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I feel fairly confident it's not the Bayou or the Luxury Navy Flake. To me, though, this tastes it's deep and rich. To me, it tastes mature, and whether it's just a matter of heavy on the Perique. How about are any of these aged?
The Janneman Flake is probably maybe about a year old. The Evening Flake maybe 6 months older than that. The Navy Flake's probably about 2 years old.
The Bayou Mornings.
The Bayou Morning is about 5-6 months old.
5-6 months. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. It's probably like March or so.
Yeah,
probably,
March was the 10th.
Yeah. Yeah, so 5 months on that one. Definitely solid.
I like it. But there's there's like a mature, tangy, but not in the bright,
Yeah, okay.
not in the way a bright leaf Virginia is tangy, but in the it's it's not. It's more like almost like alcohol, like a boozy kind of. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like almost like a Grand Marnier,
Mm-hmm.
or like an orange liqueur kind of
a. I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess the Janneman Flake.
I don't remember the Evening Flake. I'm leaning toward that one. That's just a hunch. But I think I remember it being similarly spicy.
It's just spicy. Definitely spicy.
The future Blind Faith episodes that we have planned so far are definitely really cool. We got one with Navy Flakes. And then one we're going to do 4 different sun bears.
That's going to be exciting.
That's an exciting one.
What are those 4 sun bears again?
One is the original sun bear from 2019. One is the mountain flower. One is the black locust. And one is the release from this year, the bourbon cask.
Yeah, which I have. That's the only one I've ever tried. And it's delicious.
I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to go in fully blind on that one. So I'm waiting until we do that episode to crack the tin.
I definitely enjoy it. And one of the reasons we did this kind of came out of a conversation we were talking about, like, if you take a bunch, there's plenty of vapors on the market. There's plenty of, I don't want to talk about aromatics because obviously, like, you can have different flavors aromatics, like you're adding a flavor. How different do the tobaccos themselves taste when you have a similar blend? How, if you have 50 different vapors that exist, do they all taste that different? But this right off the bat, compared to the ones I know, I'm noticing definitely more spiciness in the Perique than I'm used to.
Yeah, big time.
And like I said, I'm getting like whether it's a rum-like or a sort of, the way I guess I perceive it, I don't know if it's the Virginias or the Perique, but like the way I kind of think like of the difference between a more mature versus a more bright Virginia, a younger Virginia, tastes more mature to me in that way.
But I am inclined to be with you that it's likely one of
those two.
One of those two.
Well, I know you've had plenty of the Luxury Navy Flake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That one I'm expecting we'll both identify. That's my expectation going into it.
To me, the Luxury Navy Flake tastes kind of like, in a very good way, kind of like middle of the road, like representative of what I think a VaPer tastes like. It's not too spicy, it's not too anything, but it's really good. Yeah, I mean, this to me tastes like a vapor that's stronger than your average vapor. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really talking about nicotine. I have no idea about the nicotine. I can't really tell anymore what's
Right.
strong or not. But the big takeaway for me, just from trying one tobacco so far, though, is it does answer the question that yes, these blends with the same basic components can be very different.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along.
Bag B.
So we're trying not to let the visual appearance affect us too much, but
Yeah.
this one's less. It's lighter.
It's a bit lighter looking. Looks like it's about
Some more
half,
bright
right?
Virginias going on. Yep.
Yeah, trying to be as blind as is reasonable without it being,
Yeah.
excessive and cartoonishly orchestrated.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think visually, especially if we looked at them before they were broken up,
Yeah. The
it
flakes
would
look
be
different. Even
way
just the
too
shape,
easy.
the cut of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. The Janneman flake would stand out like a sore thumb. The Bayou morning flake would stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between the Navy flake and the evening flake. They
Yeah.
just look like a standard VaPer flake.
Yeah, they're probably cut on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Equipment.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. I watched a right off the bat. I think this is the luxury.
I'm thinking the same.
There is this. Again, I think personally, it's got to do with the casing, and none of these are by any means aromatics, but there's still something going on there that adjusts the flavor. It's a flavor adjustment
Yeah.
thing, and I think it's not just the tobacco. Yeah, I surprisingly, I just feel like
I'm still
nothing
getting
else.
spicy, but
Yeah, still spicy.
this one is brighter
But there's that.
by a tiny bit.
Yeah, my kind of working theory right now is especially when you're dealing with. I smoke a lot of pure Virginia, so I'm like, well, what makes this one taste different? That yeah, of course, different crops, different sourcing, different way of different blends of them. But I think that little bit of casing is kind of what gives them their signature. It's like the way McDonald's fries are. They're all potatoes, but they don't taste like McDonald's fries.
Right.
So once it gets going, I don't know how much I noticed that particular what I'm attributing to the casing, but that particular scent that I or flavor that I associate with certain brands having their thing, it kind of goes away after a bit. But do you agree that you notice what I'm talking about?
Well, I did feel like right upon lighting it that it did have that familiarity to me, right?
Yeah, these
There's a
oils
flavor in my mouth that of the Virginias that I remember from the Peter Stokkebye.
I agree.
It has been a little bit since I've had Luxury Navy Flake. I'm gonna have had a fair deal of it, but that's how I remember it because it's very. There's nothing stand out, like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
very
no,
much like a very
very balanced.
workman
Yeah,
workman kind of Virginia Perique. I want it to be a bit older.
you mean you'd appreciate this
I think I'd
tobacco more
appreciate
if it was
this more if
aged?
it was aged a little bit more. That's the sense I'm getting. Not that I'm not appreciating it,
Yeah,
but it has this sense of that Virginia that gets really nice and it starts really getting those fruity notes
yeah,
that I'm wishing were here.
yeah. I'm still well. I guess like they say, like with aromatics, that the topping and casing kind of burn off as the bowl goes on, whereas like natural tobaccos, Virginias and stuff, they tend to open up in flavor as the bowl goes on.
Yeah, I'm starting to get some earthy notes now as the bowl's going on.
I'll say it's very different than what we just smoked before this.
It is. It's much lighter. I'm noticing a lot more of the Virginias.
Yeah.
The last one, the Perique, was really not letting the Virginias come through so much. I was really getting a lot of the Perique.
I agree. I felt like I wasn't getting the Virginias until I tried to taste them, and I realized they're absolutely contributing to some of the tang and the flavor in a way, but like
not in a way that they were on their own. And yeah.
I kind of see what you mean about the age. That there's points in this where when you've been smoking it kind of fast and aggressively, and your tongue's a little bit burnt out, where you almost don't feel like you're getting nearly as much flavor as we were from the last bowl we smoked.
Yeah.
But I'm still occasionally getting that note that I got immediately upon lighting it, what I attribute to. For me, I think that was the giveaway that I'm going to say that this is.
Yeah. I think we're both pretty solidly there on that.
Now I almost wish we put a Scudo into this, because one of the conversations we've been having is it worth the premium?
Yeah.
And there's other tobaccos that are expensive as well, but
I'm getting some more flavors now that I associate with Perique that are not spicy.
yeah,
you know, but more in that darker area.
Well, that's one of the things I think. People talk about Perique, about the spiciness. And I think it, for obvious reasons, but I love what they contribute to the. I don't know what to call it, like the tangy, sour, dark fruit kind of flavors.
Yeah.
I think it's part of what makes them such a perfect complement to Virginias.
Yeah, it gives them a mouth-watering quality. All right. Time for blend C.
Yep. Yeah, what's really cool is like, I'm thinking about the difference of these one blend to the next, similar blend to the next. I haven't had one since my last pipe. They're not back to back like this, and it's just seeing how different those two were shows that they're different.
Yeah. Those were two different experiences, distinctly.
Yep.
And I think based on that, I'd say we're in for a third one.
Yeah, this one looks darker, for sure.
Feels moister a little bit.
It feels like moister, but also like
not moister, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like bouncier and fresher, but
bouncier
and fresher without being moist, which makes me believe that it might be almost like aged or something. Like it's not excessively moist.
Yeah,
but fresh. Let's see. Definitely darker. Hard to tell what's Virginia and what's Perique when it comes to that.
my Perique is there. Oh boy. Okay.
Yep. Oh. You've already got something like going on in your sinuses and they're sensitive that day, the tingle that comes on,
Yeah.
This to me, more similar to the first one we had, for at least compared to the last one.
Yeah, definitely.
I can tell if I'm just like my palate's a little burned out, but
right.
I find this very similar to the first one, but I like the first one better. But I don't know if that's because I had a fresh palate at that time.
So far, I'm liking this one a little bit better. I just got a note on the retro hail that was quite nice. Almost chocolatey, which is kind of surprising to find in a VaPer.
Yeah, I feel like I'm tasting the Virginias in this one in a different way than I tasted the first one. If I'm assuming that they're similar
Okay.
type of Perique
Yeah.
ratio.
Yeah. Definitely feels close in Perique ratio to that first one.
What was your thought on the first one? You thought that was the Evening Flake?
That yeah. But I didn't remember it being quite so spicy.
I'm going to guess that this is the Evening Flake.
In a similar vein, my guess is that this is the Janneman Flake.
It's funny. This one started out feeling a lot stronger, but now it's kind of mellowed out a little for me.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely changed character.
Still overall, though, you know, quite heavy on the Perique.
Yep. I'm starting to get more of those raisiny notes. I get like notes that you might get from a coffee.
Okay. I kind of can see what you mean, I think. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Right. But some coffee has that, like, spicy,
Right.
fresh. There's a little bit of almost nuttiness to it at times.
Yeah. Definitely. I've been getting that as well, but it feels weird.
You have
Like,
to let it cool down a little in order to get those.
yeah. Yeah.
How would you rank them so far? What, like A, B, and C? What would be your first choice, second choice, third, fourth choice?
The way this one's evolved, I'm liking this one. Second would be the second one we had, and third would be the first one. It was a little bit too spicy for my
Yeah.
taste
Something you
generally.
want to smoke. Generally speaking, yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely be surprised to learn that that's Luxury Navy Flake.
I think I would. Oh yeah, for sure. I think I would. Well, this is getting better. It's getting a little bit more complex, and I wonder with a full bowl of it that we would be, just starting to get going in the bowl right now.
Yeah.
And I would bet it might even get better from there.
I'm getting more of those coffee notes, and it's real nice.
I think I like the first one the best, though. And I guess I'd have to say this one's second, but I will say this. I think the B that we just had that we thought was Luxury Navy Flake, it's qualitatively different than these two.
Uh-huh.
So it's not quite apples to apples. I'm almost like thinking of these like a subcategory of like bolder,
Right.
more robust, Perique heavy VaPers.
Which I think probably the Bayou Morning Flake would fit in well with, because 25% I think is pretty fair Perique percentage
That being said, we think this is the Bayou Morning right now,
based on elimination.
And it's the least dark, and it's also the youngest, which might contribute to that as well.
I mean, I thought that one of them looked brighter.
You thought you thought
I thought B looked
B
brighter.
looked brighter, yeah.
It looks about the same as A to me.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell with it being broken up differently.
Yeah, I'm really appreciating the earthy realm that it's gotten into. All right. On to the final bowl.
All right. Let's do it. The Perique spice is there.
Yeah. Definitely there, but I have a sweetness early on. I'm off the bat. I'm thinking this is the Bayou Morning Flake because it's unfamiliar to me. And I had already made a guess about one of the unfamiliar ones. So, by process of elimination, I feel it's kind of confirmed that this doesn't feel entirely familiar to me.
What I also think it's the Bayou Morning Flake, and what I'm finding most interesting is that I've smoked plenty of Bayou Morning Flake, and now after smoking those other three, it doesn't taste completely the way it usually tastes to me.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because the palate, but also just the reference point of all those different contrasts. I'm noticing things about it that I might have just taken for granted.
Yeah, this feels more in line with A and C, Perique wise. Yeah. But maybe a little bit less.
I think, yeah, somehow a little bit less. It's also behaving different. Like, feels somehow like a fresher spiciness.
Okay.
What's hard to articulate is there's these very subtle notes that each of the different tobaccos had that were unique to each of them. And they're just so fleeting and hard to describe. It's easy to say, all right, I take it, Perique.
Yeah.
There's a subtle like saltiness I get in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Almost in the metallic-y kind of a family, but not a metallic-y coppery taste, but almost in that family.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we check out the results?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right, let's see.
Yes. So my A was Janneman Flake.
I guessed Evening Flake, and A was Luxury Navy Flake.
No.
Yeah.
A was Luxury Navy Flake.
A was Luxury Navy Flake.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. All right, what was B? I'm shocked.
B was Evening Flake.
That was what we thought.
Was Luxury Navy Flake. We both thought that.
Okay.
C, I was right, was Janneman Flake.
And D, we were both right.
D, we were both right, Bayou Morning Flake. I do not remember Luxury Navy Flake being that peppery.
No.
It just goes to show you what the blindness can do, even as limited as
I'm really happy
as we were.
Wrong about
I'm
that,
very happy about that. Yeah.
Because I felt certain.
I was sure that B was Luxury Navy Flake.
Yep. No way.
Wow.
But like I said, for me, one of the biggest takeaways here was they're all different and they're all similar, but they're absolutely different. I mean, they're all vapors, sure. And if you like vapors, you're going to enjoy all of these, I think.
I think so, yeah.
You wouldn't.
I enjoy vapors, and none of them were off-putting to me.
No, they were all great, and but they were all different enough to absolutely warrant having preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Hope you guys enjoy this experiment.
Yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought, what you guys think we can do, how we can modify this, what you guys liked.
Rob's got plenty of tobacco, so we can
I have a ton of tobacco.
Yeah, exactly. Suggestions for how to improve the format.
Yeah, definitely love to hear that. I guess until next time, thanks for watching.